Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I want to talk about the importance of surrounding yourself with good people. That is one of the most important things in preparedness, just as it is in life. Your attitude and the people you surround yourself with make all the difference. If you have positive people around you, good people around you, helpful people, kind, caring, compassionate people around you, your life is going to be so much better than if you allow people with negativity and the kind of the downer syndrome in. But it's your choice, and I want to read you a few things here. By the way, what made me think about this is what I'm drinking out of. I want to remind you of the upcoming gathering, the Stonemont Integrative Preparedness Gathering, coming up October 4th. I remembered that I used to start my videos, this has been some years ago, I used to start my videos by saying, "Welcome to Integrative Preparedness, home of the smartest commenters in YouTube land." And I probably should not have stopped it, because that is true. When I read the comments from our commenters here, I am just astounded at the intelligence and the thoughtfulness of so many here. By the way, welcome to all the new people. We have had a bunch of new people join us just over the last week, but just over the last few days. I'm not sure why, but we have just had a slew of people join us, new people, and it is good to have you. You are going to find that here you're going to find a positive message, not just from me, but from our commenters. And if that's you, if that's your kind of place, well, we're glad to have you. You're going to find it even more so over on the Patreon channel, but that's your choice. You can join us over there if you'd like. The link's down below. It costs you $1 a month, and you'll get a lot more out of there. I just put up an amazing, you talk about positivity. I just put up on the Patreon channel Erica Kirk's amazing statement that she made. Was it last night or the day before? I forget which. You can find it on YouTube, but if you're with us on Patreon, I put it up there. It was just an amazing positive message about an amazingly sad situation. That was the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But the reason that he had such an impact is because he came at his message in a positive way. He was not apologetic. As a matter of fact, he was very forceful about or forthright. Let me put it that way. He didn't do his forcefulness in a combative way. In his belief in America, God, and Jesus Christ, and he created such a movement in this country. I don't think there's ever been anybody that has had more of an effect on our country and perhaps the world, because we're seeing demonstrations all over the world remembering him, than Charlie Kirk, and that includes Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump and many others. It shows you the power of positivity directed by the will of God. But what I used to say, welcome to the channel with the smartest people, and I'm not degrading other people, certainly, but if you're smart and you're nice, you belong here, and it's great to have you. I do want to read a few things from some of our patrons. I just got a few emails that I checked. I don't check my email very often. I really don't, and it's just one of those things. I have so many communications to go on, and I'm just not a communications type of person. I enjoy chatting, but I just don't live in my electronics, and so I don't check them very often. But I'm glad I did last night. Who's calling me? I don't know, because I got a few emails that I'm going to share with you. But I want to remind you, before we get into that, the Stonemont Integrative Preparedness Annual Gathering is coming in October 4th, here just in a few weeks, in Olathe, Kansas. That is on the Kansas side of the Kansas City area. And you're invited because you are a viewer here or a reader of my books, the Stonemont series, and we would love to see you. It's just a get-together of great people. I have to say that last year, the first annual, I was astounded at the quality of people who showed up. And I can't wait for this one, because I've already heard from so many people who are coming. And what you'll find, if you haven't been with us before on these things, you will find some of the smartest, nicest, most positive people you have ever run into. And this is kind of a difference, as you've heard me say before, kind of different from much in the so-called preparedness community or world. You know, we deal with far too much. Well, we don't. You don't deal with it if you don't let yourself. I don't deal with it because I don't let negativity into my life or negative people. But you will find that there's so much negativity in the preparedness world, and of course that's counterproductive. It works against you, right? Preparedness is something that should be done with hope for the future and faith in the good Lord, and done in a responsible manner, not out of fear or anxiety. And so you will find the people that came to our first gathering just so exceptional. I was blown away, and so I can't wait for this one upcoming. If you want to come, you have to register. It's go to our website, stonemont.us, not com, .us, and because we're American. And you know, if you're from Australia or Britain, hey, if you want to fly over here and join us, great, come on. But go to the website and go to the events tab. You'll see several tabs up there: shop, books, events. Go to that. It'll give you all the information about where, when, and everything. And then register, because it doesn't cost you anything. Stonemont's picking up the tab for everything, but we do need to know how much stuff to get for you, you know, so that you won't be the one left out, you know, without a burger or something. And feel free to bring a friend or friends or whatever, even if they don't watch the channel. It'd be a great time with great people. So get registered for that. If you're coming in from out of town, we have people coming from all over the country. Make sure that you make your reservations, your hotel reservations, in either Leawood, Overland Park, Olathe, or Lenexa, Kansas. Those are very nice places. Overland Park is always in the top 5 greatest places, the best places to live in the United States every year. Sometimes number 1, number 2, and the others aren't far behind. But make your reservations there. Very nice places. Stay out of Missouri. I love Missouri. I'm from Missouri, but in this area, if you go into Missouri, you're in Kansas City, and you don't want to be in Kansas City. Okay, much as I used to love Kansas City, you don't want to stay there. Okay, so do it on the Kansas side. So with that said, let me take a sip out of this. Is our official mug. If you want the mug, you can. If you're coming, you can order this on the website too, in the shop. Okay, let me take another sip out of this, and I'll get started on some things. I always have some people pop in and say, you just took the first 5 minutes talking about nothing. Get to the point. Well, the point is good people, and I'm talking to the good people here who I enjoy chatting with. The integrative preparedness viewership and stone modders. And it's just like, you know, if you come over to my house in the morning, I'm not going to get down to some serious topic. I'm going to chat with you and tell you what's going on. So that's what's going on. First off, I want to tell you what kind of people you're gonna see, or you won't see all of them at the gathering, but the kind of people, the high quality people that I fill my life with and surround myself with. And I'll tell you, some people will say, well, you're lucky. No, I'm not lucky. I'm a hard judge of people. I don't think much of people who are negative and downers and things like that, and I just don't let them in my world. I like people who are good and nice and polite and courteous and positive and things like that. And so as a result of that, I end up having a lot of good people in my life, positive people. Okay, and that's the kind you want in your daily life now and in a horrible situation. Okay, because they're the ones who are going to come through. They're not the ones that are just going to join you in your downing, your downerism. They're quite high quality people. Some of you know, and I received this from Hondo Bob. Those of you on Patreon know Hondo well. If you're not over there, you don't. But Hondo sent me this in the mail some time back, and then he sent me an addendum. Magnetism, material properties, and induction as they pertain to electromagnetic pulse and coronal mass ejection. This is a fascinating paper that Hondo put together. I understand all of the words and most of the content. And what I mean by that is he gets into stuff here that is so far beyond my ken that I feel smart just reading it, but I don't necessarily understand it. But I go back over it and I read it again and I read it again, and then I become a little bit smarter, right? So Hondo said, Hondo will be there. You'll get a chance to meet him if you haven't met him before. Great guy. If you've noticed when I make videos in my office, those two beautiful lanterns that are behind me, he made those and sent them to me, and he sent me some others for Christmas. Just beautiful, just gorgeous, and he's going to be there. And he has mentioned bringing some things to raffle off at the gathering. I had not given that a thought. I had not given raffle or anything a thought. I just wanted a chance to meet everybody and have a chance to talk with people more than I did last year, and leave it to good people to add good things to an event, right? So Hondo said, I'm going to bring some stuff if you don't mind, and raffle them up. And I thought, man, I don't mind. Thank you very much. This is where good people add to your life. They think of things that you didn't think about. Okay, well, they think of things that I didn't think about. So that is great. He mentioned a couple of other things. I won't mention them just for reasons. Okay. Now I want to read you a few emails that I got here, and these were just wonderful. First off, I got one from Triple G. That's not his real name, but he said, and he's down in Texas. He's a smart guy. He's been with us for a long time. He's been a long time patron. And he just sent me this. He says, hey, Steve, I'm mailing you an item to your P.O. box you might use as a raffle deal or as a hanger on a wall. Your choice. The shipment will go out Sunday. And I thought, then let's see. Okay. I apologize, but I'm back on the road at the beginning of October in the UK and won't be back until mid-October, so we'll miss the gathering. I hope you can use this set. I also have to beg your forgiveness for borrowing a couple of your pictures. Hope you don't understand. Well, I don't know what pictures that is, and I don't know what he's sending, but the idea that Triple G would send something to the gathering to be either raffled off or maybe for me to keep if I want to be selfish and I just love it too much. We'll see. I'll probably love it anyway, but maybe I'll we will see. But the idea that Triple G would send something up for that, even though he's not going to be able to be here, it's just astounding to me. And of course, I thanked him. I wrote him back. I won't read that to you. But it was just that's the kind of people who follow this channel and who are part of us, and who I am so fortunate to have a part of my life. Okay, that's what makes the difference in life, guys. It is the quality of people in it. After the good Lord. God's first, people are next. Okay. Now here's the next one, and I won't tell her. Matter of fact, I won't give her real name or her handle that some of you will know her by, because that's kind of personal. I don't know if she would want that, so I won't. And she says, I signed up for the gathering. I made flight and reservation, hotel reservations, paid in full. Now she's coming from Florida. Yesterday, after I heard the awful news about Charlie Kirk, I was in tears and nearly canceled. I prayed. Today is 9/11. God put a memory in my mind. It was a commercial that came out right after 9/11 in 2001. It was a young woman in the middle of a field in the heartland. Could have been Kansas. She was holding a sign that stated, I will not be terrorized. I did not cancel my trip. I will be there in Jesus' name. My gracious, kindest regards. Yours in Christ. Yours in Christ as well. Wow. What kind of people? Do you wonder why I look forward to talking with people so much? I hear people out there saying that they don't like people. Can't stand people, don't trust people, don't blah, blah, blah. It depends on the people, right? These are just something else. I'm going to read another one here. Good afternoon, Steve. There's another email, just got it. I have started writing a novel. Fantastic, man. After watching all of your videos on how to write a book. Here's the difference also. I made a couple of videos about how to write a book, and people were interested. How did I start writing? Why all this? And like I say, you got a book. Oh, that's another one I will mention here. Parker Kelly, who I should have brought her book out here. I don't have it with me. But Parker Kelly, the author, will be at the gathering. She's coming up with her husband from South Texas. She will have some of her books with her to sign for you if you would like. Matter of fact, Parker, if you see this, I'm going to be messaging you in a little bit with something. But I made a couple of videos about how I started writing and the process and how the Stonemont series came about. And it didn't get very many views because it wasn't about the end of the world and the economic collapse and everything like that, But apparently, I was so happy that that some people got it. And so he says, after watching all of your videos on how to write a book, that's nice. I mean, that makes me feel good that maybe watching those had a positive effect. And now we have another guy writing a book. Isn't that great? He says, I noticed all your books are copyrighted. Yes. My question is, that part of the process through Kindle Direct Publishing? Yes, it is. And well, you do your own copyright, but you can explain. You can find all that out. You inspired me to start writing. Thank you so much. I mean, that makes me feel good. I'm humbled at that. I don't take any credit, but hey. The people most surprised in the whole wide world that I am a successful writer would be all of my English teachers in school. Okay, I sloughed by all my English classes and writing classes with D's. I learned to write in the police academy. Anyway, and by reading a lot. So you inspired me to start writing. I would never have guessed. Let me interrupt this again. I want to send this message out to any of you who have something in your mind that you would like to do, but don't feel that you're quite up to it. Do it. Do it. The difference between people who so often who accomplish something and those who don't is the ones who accomplish something started. Okay, they actually started. There's a lot of people that want to do things, or they tell themselves, or they tell other people, I want to do this, I want to do that, but they don't start. The ones who succeed, first off, you have to start. You have to take a shot. You have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself up on the line and take a shot and say, okay, I'm going to see if I'm good enough to do this or not. I'm going to see if I succeed or if I fail. And that's a lot to put on the line, right? So I want to encourage you to do what he did. If you think you got a book, and you write a book, tell me about it. I'll tell everybody else about it. Okay. Anyway, he said, you inspired me to start writing. I would never have guessed I would enjoy it the way I do. Yeah, there is something special about writing a book. I'm 15 chapters in. Wow. At about 40,000 words. That is great. My first book, just to let you know, my first book was about 94,000. The Great American Novel, Huckleberry Finn, was 60,000. So he's 2/3 of the way to Huckleberry Finn length, and the story is just getting started. Wow, I can't wait. Now I won't identify him here. I can't wait to read your book. I cannot wait to read your book. So keep going, but let me give this advice: don't bring it to don't get in a hurry. I have a lot of people ask me, when's your next book going to get done? What's your next book? I can't wait to the next book. I've read through the whole series 5 times now, and I need a new book. And there is that tendency to try to hurry. Don't hurry the story. Let the story evolve. Okay, it's just like life. Don't hurry your life. Do each day the way that day should be done. Write each page, each paragraph, each sentence the way it should be written, and you'll be pleased at the end. So 40,000 words in the story is just getting started. Okay. He says, I wrote you before, have read all your books twice. And then he says, I sent you the Delaware DOC, Department of Corrections patches. Been with you on Amazon and Patreon from the start. Anyway, thank you for the inspiration and for taking time to respond. Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. I can't wait to read your book. Oh, by the way, he mentioned the patches. I've had people sending me patches for years, you know, police, military patches, and I'm going to put them up on a patch board. I just haven't gotten around to it. I need to stop doing so many things and get to that, because that is so cool. I have them all on my desk. I have a stack of patches that I need. I've read up on it, on how to make a patch board. I'm going to do it because I want that in my office, because I want to be able to look over there at those patches and see the people and the things they represent. It means a lot to me. It really does. So anyway, thank you, buddy. And let me read another one here. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Let me see. I have read all your stone mop books. I won't identify him either. I've read all your stone mop books and your YouTube integrative videos and enjoyed them. I sent you an email in the past, but not heard from you yet. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible about checking my email. I just am. I would like your opinion and thoughts about the role of emergency communications in preparedness, specifically use of ham radio, etc. I can't make it on October 4th, but it looks like you're going to have a great get-together. Yes, we are, and I'm sorry you can't make it either. And I apologize. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you before. But here's the thing. The reason that I haven't made talk hardly anything, and don't include it in my books much, is emergency communication. And the, you know, radios and things like that. Because I don't know that much about it, and I try not to talk about things that I don't know about. There's plenty of people already in the world talking about things they don't know about, right? So I don't need to add to that mess. So I don't talk about electronics communications. I remember I had a buddy who went into the agency who was, you know, big electronics communications and other stuff specialist. And I could listen to him for hours, didn't understand a word of it, but it was fascinating. But at the gathering, and I'm going to read something out of Hondo Bob's thing. Now, he is an expert, and we have other radio and communications experts coming to the gathering. And I'm going to ask them during that day if they wouldn't mind sitting with me and letting me interview them a little bit about. And there's some other people that I want to interview too. At this one, I think we're going to shoot some video. You don't have to. For anybody who doesn't mind being on camera or, you know, sharing their expertise, hey, if you just want your voice on, I'll just keep the camera on me, as much as people would probably rather look at you. But I would like to interview some people on electronic communications and communications after SHDF. But I'm going to have the people who know about it talk about it, okay? So that'll be interesting. And I thought it made me think about this whole concept of interviewing some people at the gathering. So I think we'll do that. I do want to read one sentence here. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons that I have never been that interested in electronics communications. I used to, as many of you know, I was in law enforcement for a while. And the ending of my career, the last part of my career, was done undercover, working narcotics and organized crime. And I was with a couple of federal task forces. And I saw what they were doing with electronic, you know, bugs and wiretaps and things like that. All sorts of things. And you all know this, right? You know you're being listened to all the time. And so I have always been of the school of thought. You know, it's how they got Gotti. It's how they got all sorts of people. It's how they brought down the Kansas City mob. I mean, they couldn't get into the Kansas City mob. The Kansas City Mafia is not a real term, but it's what most people know it by, was comparatively small, but very powerful, because they had control of so many things. And while they were smaller than most of the other families, you know that the Kansas City outfit never had anybody flip, never had any of them flip. Now, they were able to get into it because of a wiretap they had at a bar called the Villa Capri, and down on Independence Avenue, back where I used to live, and in the Italian neighborhoods. And they had a wiretap in this restaurant, and they were looking for something else. I even forget what the original investigation was supposed to be, but then they heard a couple of guys talking about skimming out of the casinos in Vegas and all that, and that started what was called Operation Strawman. You can look it up. And so I have always been very leery of communications. Okay. And so I come down on this. Who's calling me? Okay. I come down on this, and it's the very last sentence in Hondo Bob's. This. It says, the only truly, and this says it all, guys, the only truly confidential communication is whispered directly, face to face, with another person, if that person has proven themselves trustworthy. I'll leave that there. I agree with that 100%. You know, if I were one of those people who believed there was more percentages than 100, like 1,000, I'd say I agree with that 1,000%. But you know what? Percent means out of 100, so I agree with that 100%, and that's why I'm more interested in you know, face-to-face communications, and and matter of fact, I get into communications in my book quite a bit, but not electronics communications. So you know, all of this. Oh, maybe I should say one more thing before I put a cap on this. Something happened yesterday that I never thought would happen. Well, I did. I hope I worked for it, but all that. And that is, we have actually caught up with all of our book orders. We still have some mug orders to catch up with, but we have caught up with all of our book orders. Over the summertime, we had such an avalanche of orders from me through our website for the Stonemont series. And you've always been able to buy them on Amazon. But you can also get them from me personally through our website, stonemont.us. And that's the way I love you to get them, because then I sign each one for you, and I write a note in each one for you. And, you know, when it comes in like that, I see your name. I feel that I have a relationship with you. And you can buy the whole set on our website, which you can't do on Amazon. But we had such a slew. I was 2 months behind on, and it had a lot to do with problems with our shipper and our printer and all that, but you know, I'm not going to whine about that. It is what it is. People were so patient, and Capital people weren't patient, but whatever, you know. Y'all were so patient, those of you waiting for your books. I appreciate it so much. It showed me the kind of people you are. But we have caught up. We are now totally caught up, and I've learned a lesson about my shipper. Now I keep a stock of books here, so I don't depend on them to get me the books in time, right? So anyway, you can, once again, if you would like, and what it is, if you're not familiar with it, these are my books. The Stonemont series, the reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, hostages to fortune, are on wings like eagles. Working on book number 8. Hopefully it'll be out before Christmas. And it's the story of a prepared family who, as a result, they weren't surprised. It's not about, well, some of it's about suffering, but a prepared family who, as a result of their preparedness, was able to continue living a high-quality life after a collapse of everything, a CME. And not only live well themselves, but help other people. And it's a story. It's 6 or 7 sequential novels. Read them in order. About that. I say it's the total plan for total preparedness, survival, and rebuilding after a total collapse of everything. Okay, the guy who wrote the foreword to my first couple of books said it's an amazingly positive story about an amazingly negative situation, and that's exactly right. You'll love the story. You'll learn more than you can believe. I've had people who have been in preparedness for decades tell me that they've learned so much from these books. I've had people say they've read it through the whole series 5 times and still learn stuff that they missed the first 4 times because they were so caught up in the story. It's a world that you will enjoy reading about and living in while you're in there. So anyway, that's my commercial for that. I love writing them. I love the fact that so many people have learned from them and enjoy them. And if you'd like to get them from me, and you can get the whole set if you order them from me through our website. You can't do that through Amazon. Go to our website, stonemont.us. You go to books, and I think they're also in our shop. But just wherever, go there, and you can order them from me. And now we're in a situation, this was amazing, I actually fulfilled an order yesterday that came in yesterday. That was unbelievable. So anyway, if you'd like to order them, that's how you do it. stonemont.us. We also give them to you as at a kind of a discount, because when we send them as a whole set, we save money on packaging, handling, postage, and stuff that. Plus, I throw in the From Me to You, the Stonemont notebook, and people love this. Okay. Let me read you a couple of things off of this, and it's not from me; it's from the Bible, but it is so important in your preparedness and your life. Okay, so on the front of it, one of my favorite verses, Proverbs 16:3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Now, that being King James, a lot of people aren't quite sure what that means. What it means is commit your work to the Lord and your plans will succeed. Now, what I always have to warn people about is that doesn't mean you want a red Corvette, and so you say, Lord, I'd like a red Corvette and I'm going to commit it to you. No, what it means is you ask the good Lord for his direction first, and then whatever he leads you to do, you commit it to him, and it will succeed. He will make things succeed where we can't. Okay, it's his work, his hand, and his spirit that's in the work. The second one is on the back, Psalm 127:1, and it says, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. That simply means if the Lord's not in it, it's not going to work out that well. And if he is in it, it's not going to fail. Okay? So, people, the importance of having good people, the vital importance of letting the good Lord be in your life and direct everything that you do. And you know what? If God's in your life, you're not going to be negative. You're not going to be angry. You're not going to be hateful. You're not going to be spiteful. You are going to be led by his will. And that's a great place to be. And if you live your life the right way, you're going to find yourself surrounded by great people. And that leads, when you have a life guided by the good Lord and full of great people, how can you not have a great life, right? Either now or after the collapse of everything. So you all have a good day. I hope that you can join us at our gathering. If you can't, we'll think about you. October 4th, this is the official mug, like I said. It has down there, second annual gathering. On the sidebar, it says faith, family, and friends. I can't tip it over much. I'll spill my coffee on myself. And on the back, of course, our tagline, prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. The Bible, axe, and rifles, the symbols of Stonemont. Semper Paratus, meaning always ready. And the fact that you are a PMP, a preparedness-minded person, not just a prepper who stacks stuff and all that, but you've made it a part of your life. And being surrounded by good people makes that all the easier. So anyway, you all have a good day. Have a positive day. Have a day that's worth living. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Get out there and do what you should. And I'll talk to you later.